With the quality of technology today and the rapid advancements of the technology, it is easy to overlook the incredibly detailed photos of people or objects frozen in the middle of an action because there's an abundance of these photos. It doesn't take much time to be able to find the picture of a boxer connecting a knockout blow to the face of his opponent, revealing every minuscule detail of each muscle in the boxer's arm, or of a bee pollinating a sunflower with every particle of pollen present. But without the strobe light, there would be no such pictures. Indeed, without Harold Edgerton and his invention of the strobe, there would be no way to tell what these frozen motions look like. From one of Andy Grunberg's articles in the New York Times, we see that Harold Doc Edgerton, born in Fremont, Nebraska in 1906, was interested in photography as a teenager, but got a degree in electrical engineering from the University of Nebraska. His passion for photography intertwined with his job at the Nebraska Light and Power Company. Needing to solve the problem of malfunctioning generators in motion, Doc started working on the strobe, paired with a camera, in 1926 to capture the generators in motion, which was finished in 1928 according to one of Craig McConnell's articles. McConnell defines a strobe as an electronic flash with the capabilities of being repeated over and over at extremely fast speeds. The flash of each strobe lasts a millionth of a second, so you can imagine how precise the image produced from each flash was. Edgerton also came up with the way for the photographer to control the rate of flashing. As a result, specific actions of a sequence or an instantaneous event that happened too fast for the human eye to see was now able to see frozen as a photograph. After his major invention of the strobe, which helped him in the electrical company, he expanded the borders of strobe photography. The Air Force employed Doc during World War II, in which they used his technology on planes for aerial night photography, including the coast of Normandy during D-Day, according to Grunberg. McConnell also let us know that Mr. Edgerton's technology and photos were used by the National Geographic Society from nature shots including hummingbirds, rattlesnakes, and bats, among others. Action shots of many sports moves, from football players to golfers, were also taken, but some of his famous photographs were the milk drop coronet and the most sensational images to me, shots of projectiles flying through objects. Harold Edgerton captured pictures of objects penetrated by projectiles including a playing card, plexiglass, and the most intriguing to me, an apple. As noted by the MIT Museum website, a stationary apple was shot by a .30 caliber bullet in which the apple disintegrated after the impact. What the eye cannot see is what the apple looked like directly after the bullet exited it, and before it disintegrated. The museum states that Edgerton used a flash that lasted about a third of a microsecond to capture the outstanding photo. In order to trigger the precise flash, a microphone in front of the apple picked up the rifle shot, the sound traveled into an electronic delay circuit, and the flash was then fired at the right moment to capture the apple, still intact in the bullet just after it left the apple. The apple photo impressed me quite a bit, enough that I decided to pay homage to Doc's work by attempting a projectile photograph of my own. Since I do not own a gun, and do not trust myself to either, I decided to put a twist on the bullet through an apple scenario. My homage to Harold Edgerton's projectile shot instead involves a unique and much more powerful gun, a baseball, and a watermelon. Utilizing my rare creativity, I decided to take advantage of my baseball skills and throw a baseball through a watermelon, with someone else videotaping the action on my phone, in hopes that my results and pictures would be similar to that of Edgerton. After the video is taken, my plan was to pause the video at different points and take screenshots with my iPhone. On my second throw at the watermelon, I hit it with the baseball from about 15 feet away. The baseball did not penetrate the watermelon fully. It was lodged in the melon a little more than halfway through. Upon reviewing the video and taking necessary screenshots, some of the images obtained were similar to that of Edgerton's apple shot. The impact at the front of the melon looked similar to the apple, with the shining blur of fruit particles beginning their displacement paths from the respective bullets. Farther and farther after the initial impact of the ball, however, the pictures differed more and more. The particles displaced in the watermelon were not as uniform and seemed more random than the apple's displaced particles. The differences in displacement were probably due to a couple factors. For one, a baseball has seams, which poke out farther than the rest of the baseball itself and would cause an uneven dispersion of particles. Also, I did not hit the watermelon directly in the center, so the angle in which the ball came in may have created an uneven dispersion of melon particles as well. I learned a few things from the baseball through a watermelon experiment. The obvious is that I cannot throw a baseball hard enough to fully penetrate a watermelon. Granted, I did not warm my arm up. I also learned that although not identical, a projectile flying into a fruit produces similar images upon impact, and the angle and surface of a projectile may affect the uniformity of the particle explosion. After this experiment, my appreciation for Edgerton greatly increases because he was able to create not only a never-before-seen amazing image, he did it by using the technology he largely invented himself.